Earlier, I was lucky enough to speak to 100-year-old war veteran Dennis Davis. He served in the Australian Army in 1940 to 1945 in the Middle East and New Guinea. Dennis is now the Castle Hill RSL sub-branch member. I started by asking him about his Anzac Day tradition, and that's going to the dawn service and McDonald's with his granddaughter, Fiona.
Well, we've been doing this about 7 or 8 years now, and my granddaughter, Fiona, has always sort of looked after me on Anzac Day. So we'll be doing the McDonald's first, then going to the dawn service, and then going into town for the march.
What is it like for you attending the dawn service with your granddaughter?
Well, I think to start off with, usually we get separated, of course, because we march to the sort of podium where somebody gives a speech and everything else, and it's a remembrance of what all our friends have gone before us, and it's quite a sad time, I think.
And how much does the dawn service mean to you and to your family?
Well, first of all, it's a case of remembering my friends and mates that went through at that time. As far as my family is concerned, of course, they know my best mate. He came back. Fortunately, we both got through. We didn't have to give up the great sacrifice, and so he married my twin sister. So we've been a bit of a family there, and the four of us lived together for a while after I came back, because there was difficulty in getting accommodation and things like that. So there's quite a lot of memories going back into all that area.
Dennis, you'll be travelling to the CBD to participate in the march. How are you feeling about the march this year?
Well, this is the first time we're going in by taxi, and I think we're pretty better off perhaps not getting a taxi and going by public transport, because they want us to see the dawn service goes from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and at 7:15, I'm supposed to be back at my own home to be picked up. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll manage it somehow.
Dennis, you represented Australia during World War II with an amazing amount of service in the Middle East and in New Guinea. What are your strongest memories of that time?
I think the strongest memory is the siege of Tobruk, because we were there for 262 days. That siege lasted, and it was the longest siege in the British Empire. So I mean that was the hardest. I mean, there was no comparison between the war in the Middle East and the war in New Guinea and Borneo. I mean, in the Middle East, I mean, there was heavy tanks, heavy guns, and in New Guinea and Borneo, well, there was very small tanks, but anything other than that, even the tanks would get bogged. There's so much rain all the time.
Looking back, do you remember the relief you felt when the war was over?
Yes, excepting that when the war was over, we were just told that okay, you can't shoot a Jap now unless he shoots you first. And of course, we were in Borneo at that time, and there was a lot of Japanese still. The main Japanese force had been conquered, but there were a lot of Japanese through the jungle, and they were all hungry. And I was driving at that time. I was driving jeeps, because trucks weren't much good in that area. We had jeeps with trailers on the back, and of course I had a whole load of food in the trailer. So we were a temptation for any Jap to try to knock us off. So the last thing I wanted to do was to lose my life after the war was over. But I always had an offsider, and we were watching the trees all the time.
Dennis, I have to ask, you've lived longer than most people on the planet. Do you have any words of wisdom or a message to share with younger generations?
Well, I think the main thing is keep away from stress. Keep your mind active all the time, and your body active. I actually do about 4 kilometres of walk before breakfast every day, or 5 days a week, say. And I think that sort of kept me going. So I've had good genes, Not much you can do about that. But I'd say for the youngsters, keep active and enjoy life. Get the most out of it.
Great advice. Dennis Davis, thank you so much.
Good, thank you.